Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and to this time-lapse version of a candlelit lantern in soft pastel. I am currently editing the real-time tutorial from this and I'm going to release all of it here on my YouTube channel as a little Christmassy thank you to all of my followers here. So please do make sure that you hit subscribe and come back very soon to check that out. So the first thing I will show you is a little bit of my sketching process for this one. I don't always film this part of my process as it's already quite a lot of work just to film my painting process, but the odd time I will get the camera going a little bit earlier. And in this case, you'll see that it's a very man-made geometric object, this little lantern. And I really enjoyed figuring out all of the perspectives, and you can see that I'm making use of a ruler to help me out with some of the straight lines. If I'm drawing something out with a lot of straight lines, I will use a ruler in my initial sketching process. And then later on, as you'll see in the painting process, I've got those guidelines to kind of keep me right. And of course, I don't make use of the ruler later on when I'm painting, but it's nice to have the slightly more precise lines there to help me. So just to quickly show you the sketching of this one, and also a little bit of my process when it comes to getting my outline onto the pastel paper. This time I wanted to use a black paper, and you can kind of see why with such a dark glowing image. And as I always do, I always sketch on a separate piece of paper like this. And then when I transfer my outline onto the pastel paper, there's no messing about. I get a nice clean line to work with. And I don't have to rub out or make mistakes on my good pastel paper surface. So this is how I transfer it. In this case, I chose a kind of mid-tone colour, but anything at all will do really, because I'm going to cover up all of these lines in the painting process. And then I just tape that over the top of my pastel paper. A quick check that my lines are coming out okay. And that is how I get my outline onto my pastel paper and ready to paint. So I wanted to do something festive, something glowing and warm, because it's quite cold in my studio at the minute. Even though I'm in the south of Spain, it is pretty cold here at the moment. So it's nice to work on something warming, something that gives me that wintry indoors feeling. And I'm such a fan of firelight and candlelight. I have lots of little lanterns in my house. And one evening I took some really nice photographs just with my phone camera. And I thought one of these would make a really nice little festive demo. So as I said at the start, this is going to be released here on YouTube, the full real-time demo. You'll get my narration to help you along the way and explain my color choices and all of the different techniques that I'm using. But you can see here that I actually start with the lighter colors inside the lantern, trying to capture the warm, glowing colors first, and then add the slightly darker shapes of the lantern structure over the top of that. I tried not to spend too long on it. I tried to keep it, it's not perfect, so I didn't go for absolutely perfect lines. I tried to keep this nice and quick and keep it with some energy and have some fun with it really. So you'll see a little bit of pastel pencil. I used a black and a brown pastel pencil just to help neaten some of the very precise lines a little bit. But the majority of this is done with the soft pastel sticks. I've used a mixture of unisons and a few Terry Ludwigs as well. And of course, if you're going to work along with me, it's not vital to have exactly the same brands or even exactly the same colors. You will get access to the color list as well as the photo reference. And you can use my color list to pick out some colors that you have already. Something close will do. So it's always a useful skill actually to be able to substitute for other colors, and you're really looking at the tonal value and trying to match something close to that. So I will release this full demo here on YouTube. I just thought that I would give you a little blast of it, as I often do with the time lapses. And then of course a lot of my real-time demos get released over on my Patreon channel. But every so often, I really try to find a little bit of extra time in my month to create something for you guys here on YouTube as well. I know that many of you can't afford to come and support me on Patreon, and I really do like to make some of my teaching free to everyone. So do check out my other playlists here on YouTube because I already have quite a selection of real-time demos here. This month I've just managed to make a little bit of extra free time to do this one. And then if you like my demos and my paint-along style tutorials, come and check me out over on Patreon as well. I've got an enormous library of tutorials there, and I'll add those links in the description below. And you can even browse my entire library of tutorials without signing up on Patreon, so check out the links in the description. So I'm down to the little details now. I got the main structure, the darker parts of the lantern all blocked in. And I'm just working on some of the little details, the latches, the little ornate designs around the edges of the lantern. Those were tricky, but it wasn't so bad making use of a little bit of pastel pencil just to get those intricate little shapes. And then, of course, creating a bit of bright light shining through all of the little holes. So extremely satisfying doing this one. And of course, using a black paper as well was perfect for this. I used the black Canson velvet paper. I've been having a lot of fun with the Canson velvet in general, and the black paper is a really nice dark style of black paper, because some of the black papers on the market are a little bit more like a dark grey, whereas this one is really a good dark black. So just some final touches, a little hint of the fern leaves here in the corner. I didn't do that much to the background. I tried to leave it pretty plain and just draw our eye into that lovely glowing little lantern. So check back very soon here on YouTube for the full real-time tutorial, and please do remember to subscribe. But thanks very much for watching, and until next time, happy pasteling.